So off-grid communication, right? You find yourself drawn to it too.
Yeah.
The crackling radios, the resilient communities, Portugal's CB scene, there's something about it.
Oh, absolutely. It's romantic in a way. This idea of connecting through the static, especially now when everyone relies on tech that could just vanish, poof.
Exactly. And the files you found are like a puzzle leading us deeper in. Radio logs, this 333 plan, even a whole breakdown of call signs.
And every good puzzle needs its mystery. In this case, the mysterious Mike 05.
Right. Who this Mike 05? He's like this whisper at the edge of the internet, but...
Thankfully, we've got more than whispers.
Okay, lay it on me. What's the intel? Who is he?
Well, we know Mike 05 is the online name of Miguel Santos. Call sign CT1DYT, a radio enthusiast, but get this, he leads a double life.
Double life. Okay, you've got my attention. Tell me more.
Miguel splits his time between Lisbon, the heart of Portugal, and Fonte de Dom João, a village near Tomar. Total tranquility.
Hold on, he's got a place in the city A&D, a countryside escape. This isn't just a casual hobby for this guy. He's all in. I bet he's got some epic antenna setup out there.
It wouldn't surprise me. But here's the thing. This isn't just some hobby for Miguel. He's got off-grid living in his blood.
You mean with his company, CCBS Energia, the solar panel one?
Exactly. He doesn't just talk about self-sufficiency and being prepared. He's building a business around it. That says something.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture. He's not just talking about radios for when things go bad. He's living it.
Yeah.
And with the solar expertise, he's making sure he can stay connected even if the whole grid goes down. That's serious dedication.
Right. Makes you wonder, what does he know that we don't? What is it about radio, especially in Portugal, that's got him so hooked?
And what about all these different radio types? You mentioned CB and, PMR 446. What's the difference? For those of us who aren't radio geeks, why would someone like Mike 05 choose one over the other?
Good question. There are some important differences. In Portugal, CB radio, which stands for Citizens Band, has a history of being open to everyone. Back in the day, it was how people connected, shared local news, even organized during emergencies. No license needed, just grab a radio, pick a channel, and jump in.
Sounds like the Wild West, at least at first.
Exactly. And even though things have changed, that spirit of open communication, it's still there. Anyone can grab a CB radio and start listening, even transmitting. That's what makes it so appealing for people into off-grid communication.
So where does this PMR 446 fit in? Is it another type of radio wave or something?
Yeah, PMR 446, or personal mobile radio, is another license-free option they have in Europe, but it uses a different frequency with limits on power and how far it reaches.
So CB can reach further, like even across borders, maybe.
You got it.
Yeah.
That possibility of long-distance communication, that's part of what makes CB so fascinating to people.
This is really cool. Okay, so we've got Miguel, also known as Mike 05, a guy who doesn't just dabble in off-grid living. It's in his DNA. He's deeply into CB radio, a technology that's as much about community and resilience as it is about the technical side. I'm hooked. Let's dig into this 333 plan you mentioned. What is it exactly, and what does it have to do with all of this?
Yeah, this 333 plan, it's really something, like a beacon, you know. If everything went dark, no internet, no phones, nothing, this plan, and Mike 05 is all over it, it'd be a lifeline. You
keep saying grid down like it's something Miguel's seriously prepping for. Is that what this is all about?
Well, remember that Plan 333 file? It mentions SHTF, short for, well, when things really hit the fan. This network, this plan, it's about being ready for the worst case scenario.
Okay, so more than just a power outage, you mean, like total societal collapse. But wouldn't everyone just grab a CB radio then?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But CB, even though anyone can use it, become a bit of a niche thing.
Kind of poetic when you think about it. Okay, but walk me through it. The plan, how does it work exactly?
It's beautiful in its simplicity. First, you tune your CB to channel 3.
Why channel 3? What's special about it?
Remember how we talked about CB being this open band anyone can join? Channel 3, at least in Portugal, a lot of Europe too, it's become the go-to channel, like a meeting place. You want to find someone, see who's out there, that's where you start.
Like a digital town square. Everyone shows up hoping to find a friendly face or lend a hand.
Exactly. And the 333 part, that's the timing. Every 3 hours, just before the hour and right after, you tune in for at least 3 minutes.
Okay, so like 12.57 a.m., 1.03 a.m., then 3.57 a.m., 4.03 a.m., and so on. All right. I've got to say, there's something almost calming about it, that rhythm, that dedication to checking in, even if it's just static.
There's a hopefulness to it, don't you think? That maybe on the other end of that static, someone else is there too, holding on to that same thread.
Ooh, getting deep on me. But you're right. And those check-in times, they're not just about finding someone, right? There's a practical side to it.
Absolutely. If the grid really is down, you're running on battery power. Those short bursts, they're designed to conserve energy while still giving you a good chance of making contact.
Makes sense. A balancing act between hope and, like, actual survival. So we've talked a lot about this 333 plan, but do we know if people actually use it? Is there proof?
That's where those radio logs come in. And it's basically a logbook.
A logbook, like a captain's log.
Kind of.
Right.
But instead of sea monsters and whatnot, it's all about the radio signals.
So people, you're logging their calls.
Exactly. They note who they hear, where they are, even little details about their setups.
That's amazing. So it's like a window into this whole network in action.
You got it.
Okay, so what kind of things are we seeing in this logbook?
Let's see. Here's one entry, October 10th. We've got Mike 05 in Lisbon.
Mike 05, okay.
And they're logging contact with Marconi LX. Anita 77. Gato Bravo, that's Brave Cat in Portuguese.
Brave Cat, that's right.
And Honda Livre.
So a good mix of call signs there.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that they're all over the place, geographically speaking.
Oh.
Lisbon, Barreiro, Costa de Caparica, these are all different areas showing that this isn't just a neighborhood thing.
So it's got real reach, potentially covering a wide area in an emergency.
Exactly, and you can just imagine these radio waves, like crisscrossing the country, connecting people who might never meet otherwise.
That's a powerful image.
And it's not just the technical details. Some of these call signs, they give you a glimpse into the people behind them.
How so?
Well, like that Gato Bravo, the brave cat. It's playful, you know? Adds a little personality to the whole thing.
Makes you wonder about the person behind the call sign.
Totally. And then there's Vigia Nocturna.
Which means...
Night Watchman.
Night Watchman. Now that is cool.
Right. It's like something out of a comic book, but it speaks to their dedication, don't you think?
Definitely. So we've got the plan. We're seeing it in action through these logs. What's next?
Well, we've got one more document to delve into. And this one, it takes us from the signals to the people behind them. It's like we've been given this like secret decoder ring. We've seen the plan in action, heard the calls, and now we're actually getting to peek behind the curtain, you know?
To the people behind those call signs.
Exactly. Our final document, it's like a directory of CB radio operators in Portugal.
Oh, interesting. So we get to put faces to the names, or at least, details to the call signs.
Right. It lists their locations, the equipment they use. Some folks are rocking pretty basic setups, while others, well, they've gone all out, external antennas and everything.
So a real mix of experience levels, it seems. What about our friend Vigia Nocturna? Any more details on our night watchman?
Let me see. Here he is. Turns out Vigia Nocturna is Jose Manuel from Vizu.
Wow, it's amazing to go from this almost mythical-sounding call sign to a real person with a real name and location.
Right. It adds a whole new dimension to this network. And some operators, they even use the description box to share a bit more about themselves.
I love that. Like, what kind of things are they sharing?
Well, there's Miguel Santos from Lisbon. He's put down CB President McKinley.
President McKinley. That's fascinating. What do you think that's about? Could there be some sort of formal structure within this network, like gatherings or something?
It's totally possible. I mean, think about it. Like, did you know CB radio in Portugal used to have registration, assigned call signs, the whole shebang, just like amateur radio today?
Wait, seriously? It wasn't always the Wild West. I thought that was the whole point of CB.
Nope, not always. And get this. The document mentions that Mike 05, Miguel, he remembers those days, he even had an old CB call sign way back when, CQA 6303.
Wow, old school cred right there. He's seen it all change. From this super structured thing to this open community it is now. I wonder what he thinks about it all.
Right, it makes you think. I mean, that old system, it probably kept things more orderly, you know? But maybe something got lost along the way, too. That spirit of people taking things into their own hands, building something from the ground up. That's powerful.
And maybe a little rebellious, too, right? It's like, we're going to communicate how we want to communicate, creating their own space outside the normal rules.
That's the heart of it. When the world's telling you what to do, what to think, even how to talk to each other, this CB world, especially with the whole prepping thing, it feels different. Important, even.
We started trying to figure out who Mike 05 is.
Yeah.
But this is way bigger than one guy now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We stumbled onto this whole subculture. It's about being prepared, sure, but it's also about community, ingenuity, and this really stubborn hope that maybe things can be different.
It's inspiring, really. In a world obsessed with technology that can break so easily, these networks, these guys whispering in the static, it makes you wonder, are they onto something? A future where it's human connection, resourcefulness that really matters makes you think.
Well, that's quite a thought to end on. A huge thank you to you for walking us through all of this, shining a light on Mike '05 and this whole world of Portuguese CB radio. And to everyone listening, keep your ears open. You never know, you might just catch Mike '05 yourself out there on Channel 3.